Hello, everybody, and happy Wednesday. Here we are once again. We're back. It's episode 75. How close will we get to 100? I'm not sure, you guys. But as we delve ever closer to that fabled episode 100, we are going to continue with the what we've been calling like the castle arc, the training arc, the whatever you want to call it arc. And tonight is going to be all about Aurora. So, Aurora.
Yes.
I think we'll start with what is your... I know we talked a little bit about what your room looks like in the castle, but not in its entirety. So I was wondering if you wanted to describe Aurora's room.
Yeah, sure. Sorry, just 1 second.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Sorry, dog problems.
All good.
Okay. So Aurora's room is the kind of tower part of the connected room shared with Nikita. And so there is a kind of golden wrought iron staircase that spirals up towards the 2nd level. And there is a like walk-in closet area, vanity, full chaise lounge, and then further up an additional staircase there is kind of like a observatory area, which is just a place for her to look down on Nikita. Within her walk-in closet, there is an array of beautiful outfits, tall gilt mirrors, and when she's on the stairs, she does not walk up the stairs. She steps onto the bottom step and she appears at the top of the next level.
And would you say that you're spending very much time in your room while you're here, or have you been exploring?
I think in the first week, it was very much spending time in the room, especially like kind of pulling up the window into the current time and outside of this realm, and kind of peering at what's going on, and then putting it aside and going and distracting herself with trying on outfits. And that seems to be part of her ritual when she is not attached to Nikita at the hip, or looking for a gift for someone.
Gotcha. So I'll say it is... Oh, you've got a luck die from chat. Thanks, Jarek. You will say towards the second half of the first week, a little later than the rest of your companions who you have heard mention in passing already so far, that mysterious rooms and doors have been magically available to them, leading to a training room in which they each have begun learning more of their craft, you assume? You were not privy to the happenings of the training of your fellow party members. But in the second half of your first week, so we'll say 6 days in, because it's a 10-day, you appear at the top of your steps. You step on the bottom step, you, like Misty Step, appear at the top in your little sanctum, except there is a stone door that does not match any of your decor. as if it had revealed itself amongst the decor. Perhaps there was a tapestry there before, but now it is a large, gray, slightly mossy on the corners door with a artistic fresco relief of a dragon.
Upon noticing the dragon, that's what gets Aurora walking towards the door, and she spends a moment kind of trailing her hand along the image and trying to discern if it looks similar to the dragon we saw in the dream room.
Yes, it does look like Cambir.
Mm-hmm. Then she'll open the door if it will let her.
Yeah, you walk up to the door, and as you reach your hand out to touch it, to attempt to push it open, it simply drifts open. There's no scraping of stone, there's no telltale shift of the wind, the air around you. It simply opens soundlessly.
Magical. And she steps through, kind of looking expectantly around to see what might be in here, whether it's a new part of the castle that she has yet to discover, or this fabled training that seems to be happening for others.
For you, the corridor lying ahead of you it's not a straight line. It's a spiral downward. As if there is a stairwell on the outside of your tower, which you know very well is not the case.
All right. Aurora will hesitate for a moment and then remember why she's here and begin walking down.
As you step, heels clicking on the stone, little braziers recessed into the wall light up blue flame. Down and down, every few steps a brazier, lighting your way until you reach the bottom of this tower height spiral staircase. And when you do, you find yourself in kind of like a circular room. It appears to be like the basement of the tower. It is round like the tower. It goes down below where you know you generally walk. And offshoots down a short corridor, barely a door's width long, into another room. This room is a half circle, so the side that you enter in is flat, but the walls on the rest are completely, perfectly round. Green torches light the room here, and they shift green to red to pink, and finally settling on blue.
Aurora kind of looks around. She's smiling, but she's feeling tense. And she kind of looks for anything in the room other than herself. Is there any decor? Are there any items?
There absolutely is. I think I'll shift to... Normally this is like mystery music, but it's really just because I feel like it fits the vibes. We haven't heard this one in a while anyway. As you step into this chamber, what you notice first is above the door that you enter through, and covering the entirety of this flat side wall, is a lifelike statue of a dragon. It is life-sized, you think. The head is rested over the archway through which you entered, as if relaxing on top of the stone. Its neck craned and curved into its body, which seems to be coiled, recessed into the flat side of this room. It's Cambir, or a likeness of him. And his head is the size of the Satesk.
Oh.
It's huge.
Oh my.
Mm-hmm.
So Aurora walks over to there and kind of puts her hand somewhere on the jaw, which is as high as she would be able to reach, and kind of looks up. Hi.
The stone does not respond or move. However, blue lightning-like veins light up across the face of the stone of this statue, across the walls, across the ceiling, across the floor, lighting up all of the artistic frescoes that cover the rest of the walls, the floor, and the ceiling. Different aspects of each fresco have lightning-like conduits running through them, lighting up particular areas of the artwork. The sun, the moon, the stars, borders on each fresco, things like that. And most notably, the one in the center, where you see a visage of Lapis, in which her eyes are lit up blue.
Aurora's heading over towards that image and kind of wondering if the art looks familiar or if this is completely unique to this place.
It's totally unique. It's more detailed than the statues and the frescoes you saw in the tomb. It is beautifully detailed. I'm talking like, you know, the great Roman, French, all of those where the ceilings are painted very intricately, palaces and the like. It's like that. But as you walk over to this relief, you hear behind you, I was wondering when the door would show itself to you.
Hi, and then she'll turn around again.
Behind you is a somewhat ghostly image of Lapis.
Oh, hi.
Hello, my dear. And as she lands, feet planting on the floor, she solidifies. No longer a spectral image, but a solid, living, breathing person who, now that you see her in full color in the flesh, looks a lot like you, but with different hair.
What kind of hair does she have?
In this version of Lapis, she has a long single braid that nearly reaches to her feet, and would if the tail of that braid wasn't trailing, floating fire, kind of keeping the braid from hitting the floor as she moves.
Beautiful. It's nice to see you again. Is it again, or is this a different aspect of you?
Well, considering you technically see me every time you look in the mirror, she kind of smiles at you. You'll get used to it over time.
Right. We are the same. And yet
we
not
are
the
and
same.
we aren't.
Yeah.
She kind of smiles at you.
A beautiful castle you have here. Did you make it? Did you find it? Did you win it in an epic battle? Did we?
Edem saw fit to provide us, with a sanctuary. Existing outside of time is required, you see, to maintain power such as ours.
How come?
The soul needs a place to go until it's ready. My dear, it is time to fully learn about your history. About our history and what we do.
That's what I came here for. I want to know.
She will kind of wave a hand, and melding up from the floor through the stone as if it became liquid is a simple stone table and chairs. She sits down. Well, I'm not going to stand here in the middle of the room and wax poetic at you. Come sit.
Oh, thank goodness. She'll go over and sit down.
She will, she sits in a very, dainty, kind of royal way, crosses one leg over the other at the knee, places her hands in her lap. Perfect posture. So, well, like I said, wax poetic has never been my strong suit. So,
I prefer it straightforward anyway.
It will sound quite reductive, so forgive me in advance.
Okay.
You, my dear, will have a child one day. A suitable father, fairly optional. You could always make your own child, I suppose. But you will have a child one day. And that child will be the host of us. You are the culmination of all of us. Your soul is my soul. Each successor continues the line. The power does not fade that way. It only gets stronger. And with each successor, something new is added. You, my dear, arrived later than we could have predicted. So that is the reason why you struggle to contain yourself. For what it's worth, you've done a good job so far. One burnt down house does not a disaster make.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. It feels much bigger when it's kind of the first thing that you did.
Unfortunately, your father did not follow through with plans. And as a result, you became part of a family that did its best to squash our ways because they do not understand what it is like to live amongst dragons.
What is it like?
She smiles. Our father, soul father, I suppose, taught us well. He may be back someday, But for now, this part of the universe is up to me.
He's gone somewhere, but he's not dead.
We never truly die. No one does. You are simply reallocated elsewhere. This, she motions to the room, meaning the castle. This is how we circumvent that.
So it's a safe place to return to in between. What did you call me? Vessel?
Vessel is, like I said, reductive. You are the air.
That sounds much more exciting.
Vessel is the technical term, and I did refer to myself in that way, even though I was the first. But power like ours, you don't want to let that go.
So, if you've reached such heights, how come I am cut off from it, even though I've learned how to use my powers?
She kind of sits back a little bit. Your body, the way you are now, you're not ready yet for everything. That requires training. It's a big part of why you're here.
That's what you said. Okay. Well, I'm glad I got the time from them to try before things really get bad. If this is our last chance to solve this problem, that's bad for you too, right? For us?
We may survive, but remember when I just said a moment ago that I have purview over this part of the universe?
Yes.
That would be all well and good if it weren't colliding with another one. I can't stop that. No one can.
Oh.
This shattering, I do not want it to happen. I don't think any of you do.
Great. Definitely not. Me neither. Not even a little bit. Really important if it doesn't. I like my home the way it is.
She looks like she's holding back laughter as if what you said was a little funny. Yes, your home. I expect that your opinions may change when it is time. A little. That doesn't mean you can't visit. But there are many such worlds, many such places to explore.
I found so much already just leaving the Vale. Terra is my home as well. It always will be, even if I go elsewhere and travel. It's a part of at least
Well, of course.
the Aurora legacy.
Of course. It is where we rest.
But I don't mind being away. It's kind of cool.
I expect once everything is unlocked for you, and you remember all that we have done, that you will be just as excited to travel as I am. But that is not important for your training. She holds her hand across the table towards you.
What's going to happen? Are we going to merge minds and become one superpowered being?
I am unlocking the first lock. Well, technically the first lock is unlocked. The second, then.
Okay. And she takes her hand.
What you feel when this happens is nothing short of getting struck by fucking lightning. It is not nice. It does not feel good. In fact, it is one of the most painful things you have ever experienced. But your mind kind of separates from that. You have a realization, and you can choose whether you fully react this way or not. You have a realization that this is just something the body is experiencing. It's not you.
So I think at first, Aurora tenses up. She has her full grimace. She is in the complete moment of pain. And then as she realizes that there's a distinction between the two, she lets herself be separated from it.
This is super not the song that I wanted. That's okay. I'll just stick with it. As she lets go of your hand, you feel something shift on a spiritual level. Your body, however, you fall off the chair onto the ground. If you try to get up, it will be difficult, and I will ask you for a roll if you want to get up.
I think she would try, realize how difficult it is, and then simply lean on the chair like Cinderella instead.
As you do, she, still seated, watches you with a little bit of, apology in her eyes. Breathe deep. It will pass. We have been through this before.
And this is just the second. How many more?
One.
Okay. Maybe I can handle that. In a bit. What?
Perhaps by the end of your training, but not now.
Oh, yes. I can't even stand up right now. What am I supposed to do next to try?
Start with getting up. The amount of pain that you feel right now is child's play compared to the third.
Okay. I can do that. And Aurora's attempting to get up.
Roll me a d20.
All right. I'm rolling my very special custom Aurora dice that are made specifically after her. And I rolled oh man, that's a 17.
Very good. Describe, though it is painful, though it is difficult, describe how you get up and stand on your own 2 feet.
I'm gonna say Aurora begins with getting her legs under her to give herself a good stable balance, and to kind of like uh, uh, use her knees and thighs to support herself, rather than getting up on her feet as of yet, and then slowly kind of shifts in her position, thinking about all those times where she's walked in heels that hurt her feet way too much, and uses that calf strength to bring herself up to her full height while holding on to the chair to make sure that she doesn't collapse.
Lapis watches you. There is some hint of sympathy in her expression, though it is mostly impassive. And she waits until you stand on your own before she flicks a finger and the chair is pulled away from you, but you remain standing.
There's like a brief instinct to reach out for it, and then she holds herself back.
No more shortcuts. No more getting carried. No more letting others do things for you. You do for yourself. You need to start acting like who you are. You're the most powerful fucking sorceress in this part of the multiverse.
You're right. We are. I am. It's just, how do I see it? How do I know it's real?
As you ask yourself that question, I would love for you to roll me a d6.
Ooh. A d6. Oh, that was not even close to being rolled. That was a 3.
Okay. A memory surfaces from before you were Aurora. From your time as Pirani. She spent her life protecting Terra. You see that she was born to Lapis. After Lapis returned from wherever she was, already pregnant. Pirani's father is from a different planet. Pirani spent her life on Terra, and after putting Lapis to rest, chose to age rather than live without the husband that she found on Terra. Your memory is of Pirani being an extremely powerful sorceress and doing virtually nothing with her talent, other than fulfill the next generation of heirs. And as this memory washes over you in flashes of time, different events that tell you the story without words, at the end, Pirani had nothing. as you come out of that memory, Lapis is sitting, watching you, because she notices that look on your face. She knew that you were remembering. What did you see?
Verani.
Yes.
Her life, our life. It was just a continuation to get here.
I tried to train her to be like me, but she wasn't.
That's why it was difficult for her when we spoke before.
Many things are difficult for Verani. She was a lot like you. Her self-doubt, her questions, her confidence, or lack thereof. Those are why she did nothing with her gifts. I did all I could to teach her, to train her, to move the wheel forward the way one must. But when it was time for my first body to rest, she gave up. Do you know what it is like to be trapped?
No. I've only just left my home recently. I was comfortable. What is it like?
Comfortable? That sounds a lot like prison to me. She will stand up. You will not be wasting your potential.
It's not too late.
No. If spheres are going to intersect, I need to make sure that you live.
Wait, we're not stopping the spheres from intersecting?
No, nothing can.
Oh. It's already too late. Or at least that part.
She waves a hand, and you see an illusion. You see a arrangement of what appear to be planets in space. But they're not. As you look closer, each sphere has, you think, what look like representations of solar systems. Many in each sphere. And she moves the image so that you can see two particular spheres that are in the process of merging.
Which one is yours? Ours?
She points to the one on the right. That is our system. There are others, but ours is central. That, she points to the other one, that is another reality entirely.
And it's one you don't have access to, right? Because we're completely separate? Or until we collide?
The last time I went to Earth, it was... She kinda... long time ago. We could go there. But you should not. Not until you can change your appearance, anyway.
I shouldn't?
Not now. What you need to know, and what is important, is this. She points to the two spheres where just the edges have started to merge. This is the way of things. This is not your problem. Yet.
So it's supposed to happen?
She moves the image, and it seems to zoom in on the sphere that she indicated was the one that you were in. You see a series of planets. In view, 5 in particular. She points to a very verdant green and blue planet. This is Terra.
Wow, we're pretty from the outside.
We certainly are. If this planet is destroyed, the rest of the system, she points to the other. There's a yellow planet, a red planet, a green planet. There is one that looks as if it is void of all light, and you're not even sure that that's a planet. But there are rings radiating out from it. Some look gold, some look like stone. She flicks her wrist and moves her hand as if brushing away dust, and one by one, each planet disintegrates. If Terra is destroyed, we lose our anchor.
So we have to protect the planet, but the spheres colliding will happen either way.
Unless you can pull off some very fucking big magic in the next, 2 days.
2
Probably
days?
not.
No, wait, 2 days outside of here, right? Not inside of here. Okay, maybe. We'll talk about that again soon, because I think I have to focus on the level 2 magics before I can get to big magics, right?
Precisely. And she dismisses the illusion as if it is nothing.
Well, Lapis, Aurora, what should I try?
The limit is your imagination. What do you think you should be doing right now?
Well, if I'm gonna prepare for what we're gonna come back to, and I don't want to get stabbed, it would be a large amount of lightning.
Excellent. Then we will start there. And as she says that, because I believe, if I'm recalling correctly, you also rolled a nat 1 on how your training would go.
I did.
So yeah, she pulled back the veil for you, which is bad enough in and of itself because, you're realizing some things about what's happening in this world. But what happens when she says those words is you are hit with lightning. Big lightning. But it always, and as your training progresses, as you begin learning how to sling spells with Lapis, she always stops just shy of anything that could be lethal to you. But oh boy, does it hurt. She challenges you over your next few sessions to deflect and return.
That's exactly what Aurora has been thinking from the first surprise lightning strike, that she wished she had the ability to deflect it. And so she is putting all of her mental efforts into figuring that out, how to make her electric shield that she has brought up before available to deflect something much more powerful and like an AoE, as opposed to the usual targeted strikes she's used to deflecting.
Excellent. And I think since we're about an hour in, we can revisit a little bit more of your training after, but I think now would be a good time to take our break. Okay, so we're gonna take a quick 10-minute break. Everybody get a snack, get a drink. I know I need one. I had ice cream earlier. Now I feel like I have no voice. And we will see you guys in just a few. Bye. also gonna change the music because I could have done this off screen. Chat, I could have done it off screen, but I forgot. Would it be a Wednesday without me fucking something up? I don't know. So we're gonna pivot over to the rest of the party really quickly before we get to the next part of Aurora's training. We are going to zoom in on Dayu.
Hello.
Hi, Barbie.
Hi.
So Dayu, you said you wanted to find Aurora and have a conversation with her?
Yes. And this time, I'm gonna bring that fancy, tiny Excalibur-esque weapon that I'm supposed to give to her as well. But I'm gonna, like, maybe not necessarily wrap it up. I think I'm just gonna keep it, like, in some nice, like, cloth.
Mhm.
You know, so it's hidden, per se.
Okay. Aurora, where does Dayu find you?
I'll say she's in the upper level of her bedroom space. So like when Dayu kind of pokes her head and looking for her, she knows to come down. Hi.
That's where I'm going. Hi. That's not my voice. Hi. There you go.
What you doing?
I have something for you. I was supposed to give it to you a while ago, then I forgot.
Oh, a gift for me?
Yes, not just any gift. It's a super special gift.
Oh, okay. We gotta do it in a super special location. Come with me. And she's gonna take Dayu up to the top level, the like kind of observatory little patio kind of situation that looks down on the rest of the tower.
I'm like walking. I'm trying to hide it, but not really. It's more like I don't want you to peek, but it's like I don't care if you notice that I'm totally holding a whole thing, like under my arm on the side or something.
I think like Aurora is excited about the prospect of a gift. She assumes it's a gift for her and pays no additional attention to it. She just is like, "Ooh, gift," and boop doop up the staircase.
And like when we're like there and we're like properly acclimated, you know, I'm gonna like put it out in front of you. Like if there's a table, maybe I think of a table or something like that. Just somewhere nice.
Yeah.
Yes, and a beautiful wrought iron matching the balcony table and chair patio set.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Just something like it's cute, but it has to match. And so like I'll put it out and like very slowly kind of unveil it by removing the cloth and say, so the best way to put it is that Aluna Seren showed up, told me a bunch of things.
The
including-
goddess?
Yeah. And she said that this was for you, and I'm supposed to give it to you. So
Really?
Super special gift.
A goddess sent me a gift?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So I know it looks like a super pretty fancy short sword, but this part, and I like point to like that big like pretty sapphire, this part she said that you can use it like an arcane focus.
Ooh. Looking at it, how in what it looks like at the moment, how long exactly is this blade?
It is about the typical length of a rapier. So
Longer side.
maybe roughly half your height.
Oh wow, it's beautiful. It's quite long. I've never used a sword before, but I feel like a focus would be extremely useful. What do you think is gonna happen when I touch it? Will it be like the hmm. And Aurora picks it up.
As you pick it up, the metal feels a little bit warm to the touch already. And as you grip the hilt of this rapier-like sword, you feel like the metal ripples like it's liquid for a moment.
Ooh.
But as you look at it, you're like, was that an optical illusion? Because it looks like lightning and it's all twisty. Was it the light? What am I seeing? Because when you realize it, you don't see movement. It feels familiar to your hand. It feels like you have held this before. Whether it looked like this or not, you don't know.
She kind of turns it over in her hand and goes, actually, this kind of feels nice to touch. That's weird. Does it seem to be moving to you? And she kind of like holds it up to Dayu's eye.
Nope.
Well, no. Mm-mm. I mean, it was meant for you, so maybe it's just responding to you.
Oh, well, that would be nice. Thank you, Dayu, for delivering me this really cool gift from a goddess. I've gotten a lot of nice gifts from otherworldly beings lately, and that is really cool and also terrifying because a lot of upsetting things are happening in the universe right now, Dayu. You know that.
I've
though.
been told. I kind of got
Yeah.
I'm like on day 7 of a headache she gave me.
Oh, that sounds painful.
Yeah. It was a lot of information. But you know, I don't know. I kind of like besides the headache, besides that, I kind of feel okay with it. Like I understand like fully. You know, I'm not just saying, "Okay, I get it." I really get it. And you know, in a way I don't feel that stressed out anymore.
I hope I get to that point at sometime. I feel stressed out.
Mhm. It's
There's a lot riding on this.
Yeah. It's you know that we're in a loop, right? Like we keep doing this and there's a lot of different really messy outcomes.
And there's
But
different versions of us, and these current versions are somehow different. And this is our last opportunity, or else something really bad is gonna happen.
mhm. I like to think about it as like a fork in a river, so it makes 2 rivers. Even though obviously it's implied that there is more, there really is only 2 outcomes.
For the river?
Yeah, there's the river gets split in 2, and they will lead you elsewhere. There's only really 2 choices.
Oh, okay, got it.
Mhm.
Failure or success, right?
Mhm. Yeah, and thinking about it like that, it's less overwhelming for me because there's no more what ifs. There's just we fail, we succeed. And they really want us to succeed. I don't think they would be putting that much if they didn't think we could do it, you know?
I see what you're saying. I'm more worried that we fail, but only some of us are lost. And some of us have to live with the consequences. But if we don't fail, then that doesn't happen.
That's true too. I think right now the best thing, the thing to focus on is doing what we can to succeed. Thinking about failure, and I think about it a lot, shouldn't, it's only going to hinder us in the end. I think we kind of have to, I think we need some of your confidence.
Have confidence in every area but this one. Or at least I didn't until I knew more.
Well, that's kind of what this training's for, right? Knowledge is power.
Interesting way to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Power is
And,
power for me, but I guess knowledge is helping me unlock it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you and me, we're not the most physically strong, right? But would you say that, like, Nikita's strength isn't power?
Oh, it definitely is.
Yeah, but see, you know how that's not a power you have, but knowledge in this case is a power that we can all have. It's a shared resource that seems to be very plentiful.
That's a good way to think, good Dayu. It's easier if we share the burden.
Mm-hmm. My training has been therapy and stretching. I've had a lot of time to talk to the very nice statue. But,
Lucky
I mean,
you. Mine's been getting shocked over and over, and you don't really think about how much it hurts when you do it to other people. But then it happens to you, and I have to apologize to Rev like one more time, I think.
Did your magic never hurt you?
Not like that.
Mm.
That
Well,
is
that's...
more like what happened after Nikita.
That... Well, it's still... I think it's still valuable to know just what kind of power you wield, you know? So in something, responsibility, something.
Yeah, a lot of responsibility, actually. Once I unlock level 3, I think is the time when it will become real. Right now, it still kind of feels like a dream. Like I always dreamed to be somewhere different, somewhere else, somewhere I fit in, but I'm not fitting in. I'm unique, and that's good. Here.
That is very good. Sometimes you just need to find the right puzzle.
And solve it. Oh, but it's really hard.
Yeah. I don't like speaking more honestly. Like, I was trying to do it with Nikita way earlier, and then...
Aw, and what did you guys talk about?
I'm trying to tell her that she needs to, like, use this time to monopolize it so she could get over her dead dad. But it's really difficult to say that, and because I don't want to be mean to her. But, like, also, remember when I told you we need to share the burden?
Mm-hmm.
She's not sharing it. She's keeping it all
Burden.
in. And like, her forehead's getting as tense as her muscles. She can't tell. And I don't want to say that to her because that's mean. What if I make her think like, oh, now I'm self-conscious about my forehead? Like, I don't want that either, okay? But like, I'm just...
Hey, a
I wanna
lot of
relax.
things, a lot of things with Nikita are easily delivered if you give her a kiss. Kiss her on the forehead, and then tell her to relax a little, and maybe once she has a positive feeling, it will be easier for the words to flow. Sometimes that's when we talk best, is after,
That does make sense. Maybe I should try it. Well, I'm gonna try it.
Yeah. And she also likes feeling useful. So if you needed assistance with something heavy lifted, something off of a high shelf, something like that, it would probably assist.
I can put something on a high shelf.
Great.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
The last thing Aurora's gonna do is say, Caillou, can I have a hug?
I'm gonna give you a hug.
Great. Great big bunny chest snuggle.
And I give you a kiss on the forehead.
Aw, that's gay.
And-
Do we want to zoom out from here?
Right there.
She's like right here. So we're gonna pan over to I already forgot. Revelation. See, this is why I typed it into our chat. Because I can't remember anything today, apparently. Rev. Dear Rev, you wanted to do some peeking beyond into what I've been referring to as real time, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, I sure do. I think that Revelation hadn't really thought of the application of this when Aurora first did it. But now realizing that potentially we have a window to anywhere, maybe, if the castle complies, Rev would like to try and look for her mother.
Excellent. Is this a good one? This is probably... I'm like, what kind of music do I have?
Yeah, something nice and jaunty and not bad, because nothing bad's going to happen when she looks through.
No, it's not going to be bad. I just wanted a different vibe. So where are you doing this? Are you doing this from your quarters? Are you going to the central room that branches out into all the different hallways? Where do you want to go to do this?
I think that I originally go to where Aurora first did it, then realize that no, this castle is like our domain right now, so maybe I don't have to do this in public, and go to my room.
Okay. You go to your room and you think about that orb that allowed you to see outside of the castle. And one does appear in your room. And you said you are looking with intention to seek out your mother.
Correct.
Okay. I think I have notes for Mother Dear. god, reading back the original pages of notes I took on each of you from our session zeros 3 years ago is buck wild. Yes. Ismira Tash. Ward. You do see your mother, and her partner, Iblen. They appear to be having supper. They are in what looks like a simple home, maybe an apartment of some kind. But she is alive.
Is there anything I can tell from the environment about where it might be?
Ooh, roll me history.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm. Now you want to determine like the architecture or where it might be.
Yeah.
History.
Well, that is a 17.
That's pretty good. You kind of use this orb to look around the room. Again, pretty simple. It's not ornate. It's not run down either. Basic furniture, nothing too ornate. But as you look around to like the crown molding type design along the floorboards and at the top of where the wall meets the ceiling, you glance as much as you can in this view in the direction of a window. And what you see is familiar to you. It is architecture that is very, very, very indicative of the Hallowgate necropolis.
Fascinating.
Yep, you see graveyard, mausoleum-style buildings with rotting facades that are half ghostly in just the way that you remember them, in different wards of, or I should say, different levels to the rather mountainous city.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Rev was mostly just checking to make sure they were alive.
Yeah.
Since they, Furos and Botan and everyone left, and she felt feelings about that. So that's great. Perfect.
If you
They
want to
seem like they're doing
notice-
okay.
They do
Yeah.
seem like they're doing okay. If you want to roll me a perception check, I can give you more details about the state of both of them.
Ooh, that was good. That was an 18 on the dice, and my perception is high. So 28.
Excellent. She is no longer wearing the telltale cultist style clothing that she was previously. She is not wearing any amulets or symbols of Furos or any symbology to reflect that of secrets. And she is wearing plain clothes. Her hair looks grayer than you remember. She looks a little bit more aged than you recall. And you look around the scene and on her person for the the symbol of Furos, and it is, if I am recalling correctly, Furos is the dagger through the scroll, as the Lord of Secrets, and there is nothing like that on either of them. Neither of them are wearing Furos-oriented iconography or any iconography at all. But health seems good. She doesn't seem ill. She just seems like she's been weathered by recent events, which is a better fate than most of the rest of the cult you would expect.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. That is a better fate than I think that Rev was really even hoping to see.
Mhm.
And yeah, she's satisfied with that and will let the image fade. And then
I have a question
As-
for you before you
Oh,
move
dear.
on to your next subject. How do you feel seeing this woman who you considered to be your mother for your entire life, even though now you are well aware that she's not your mother? How do you feel
I-
seeing her?
I mean, knowing that she didn't birth me doesn't change anything for Rev. And I think, yeah, it's just the relief of that guilt of how she was raised and how she turned against it. And just a lightning knowing that it didn't ruin everything for her parents, seemingly.
Understood. And you are looking for one other.
Yes. I know that in training, it's been mentioned enough that she is not actually my sister, but Revelation wants to check in on that other Asimar who was working with the Knave Lord.
The woman in black, whose name you've never learned. You think of this person, you think of her face, you think of what you saw. I would like for you to roll me a D100.
Oh. That's a 10, and that is 100. 91.
Okay, that's very good. I wanted you to get in the 90s or hit 100, so that's great. You... Sorry, I can't talk and write at the same time, apparently. I can't even spell necropolis. Jesus fuck. Alright. Not that any of you are ever gonna see my notes. You envision the woman in black. Her feathery... Actually, I forget. Did she have one leathery wing and one feathery wing, or did she have feathery wings? I believe she had feathery wings. Black ones, if I'm remembering right. Yeah, you recall her, I can remember what her face looks like, but not what wings she has. She's a kind of a youthful face, very bright eyes, long black hair, pale, very humanoid skin, very humanoid coloring, and even though you see her face clear as day in your mind, you don't recall if you were ever able to detect if that was really her face or not. But as you concentrate, before you start questioning yourself, the orb focuses. It seems to struggle in doing so. It's as if there might be something in the vicinity of this person that makes the image hazy. And you see her. She is camped in a mountainous looking area that you recognize. She is in the mountain range that borders the Veil of Night. And the only reason why you can tell from where she is sitting in front of a small covered a campfire that's covered in a way that the smoke doesn't leave a distinguishable trail, to where she is because she looks up, and so do you, and you see the faintest sheen of the dome, the Ward of Night, as it sits lying over the veil. And you watch as the sun finishes its arc in the sky, disappearing behind the other side of the mountain range, the western side. And you watch as that light begins to fade and the barrier flickers in the final moments of the sun setting before stabilizing again. And she pulls a scroll from her pack and writes something down. But she's alive. She's not anywhere near you right now, but she's here.
Unsure if that's better or worse. And I think that there is a moment where just seeing the mountains, obviously it's different, but Rev, I think, was almost hoping that she would be up north in Elysia. The meteor shower is done, but maybe she could have met the giantess and had some turn the way that Rev did. But she's not. And that is a problem for once we are back into real time and space.
Is there anything else you would like to do or anyone else you would like to search for in this moment?
That is it, I think.
Awesome. Then we will zoom out from Revelation receiving a mixture of relief and concern from those who lie beyond the castle. And we will zoom back in on Nikita.
Hi, hello.
Hi, hello. Hi, hello, I'm Big.
Hi, hello, I'm Big.
You are looking for Aurora, correct?
Correct.
Aurora, where does your girlfriend find you? I'm sure it's not difficult.
Yeah, she she comes in and she is literally lounging in the shared bed with the giant smart pillow.
I think she'd walk in. You said that she's lounging right now?
Yeah, like you get the impression that she was killing time until you came.
I think on the shared bed, I think she'd take a seat and just kind of like flop backwards.
Nikita flops and Aurora's face peers over her upside down from above, and she gives her the old laying down Spider-Man kiss.
Mm-hmm. How's your training going?
Oh, it's interesting. It's quite painful sometimes. But you know, I'm getting valuable information. And did I tell you Lapis is talking to me? It's amazing because like she is me also, so there's like a lot of comfort in speaking with her, but also she's like extremely blunt and honest, which is what I need, but also ow. Yeah.
That's so. It sounds confusing because it's you, but also someone who can guide you from
Right?
your past, in a way.
And then don't even get me started. I had this moment where I was like Ferrani's memories started coming to me, and then I was like, wow, there's so many of us in here, and I'm supposed to at some point continue, and then I'm gonna be the one in somebody's head giving them guidance. Unless all of this collapses and we mess it up and things go very, very bad.
Oh, no. let's try not to not think about it, but worry for the worst.
You're
It's
right.
already in our faces. Enough. Right?
Yeah.
I feel like
I
a
can't
hypocrite.
stop thinking about it.
I can't either.
Okay,
Um,
hang on. This is gonna give us a moment of peace of mind, and Aurora brings up the picture of the current time of the battlefield and has them take a moment to like reassure themselves by observing it, and just cuddles.
You see like this beefed out looking bear version of Conathor fighting the Knave Lord. While Valdin is kind of circling around the back in this kind of were-panther-like form, like bigger than a regular panther, as they kind of two-prong attack Kazuhiko off to the side. The Death Knights are still in the room, but they seem to be focusing on the Knave Lord currently. That's what you see.
Baby brother gets big.
an insane thought. I think at this point, with watching or seeing the fight that they left behind, she's going to prop herself up on an arm and just to be able to look at Aurora's face a little bit more directly. I've had some thoughts, some worries, of course, but it's nice to obviously have something to look forward to. I've always worried, I think, that when we used to see your family or when we visited them, I always felt out of place. Such large establishments, a lot of authority, and you're so established in your family, but obviously with you I feel so comfortable and safe and home.
Oh, you're feel out of place because I also felt out of place. I may have looked like I belonged, but it's different. Being out here, doing something, being able to make things happen, not just watch my family make choices and lead and follow. But when we're together, we get to make our own choices.
And I'm not going to lie, every time I hear you talk about what you've learned about yourself and your lineage, you are one person, one being that has all these generations within you. It's incredible to to see and to hear about. But I was worried that it would make me feel distant in some way because you're just something else. But they're still my Aurora.
Of course. Well, always, I think.
Always.
I know it's weird with all of the magics and otherworldly possibilities, but whatever I'm getting up to, I want you to come with me. And when there's a time that you can't, well, maybe it means I take a break from adventure. Not to end things, but to make sure I always have time for you.
I will be at your side. I'd like to my whole lifetime.
And it's going to be a long one.
Oh, absolutely.
So-
If we don't die.
Remember, we were gonna think about it in a good way instead of worst case scenario.
Yeah.
And then we'll spend like 300 years traveling around doing cool stuff and battling intergalactic mercenaries and riding dragons.
And we could go visit our Fae friends.
Yes! Oh, we gotta go to a Fae ball. That's absolutely my dream. Except, wait, is that where they kidnap you? Maybe not at that one.
I don't know. Regardless, do not leave my side because whether it's a regular party or not, I need you to really help me there and hold my hand.
Of course. Do you know how much fun it is to get to brag about all the cool stuff that you did when you can't even describe it? And then I get to go, and then she was like this, okay, do the pose. And then she was like this, okay, do that other pose. I mean, it's a great time.
It's always a fun time. I love to party with you. You light up a rune. Any rune.
I do. And you make it feel safe in there when you're in it with me.
Well, it's nice to look forward to. I am keeping that in the front of my head the entire time, especially when we go back.
Yes,
We have to make this work.
because we have a life after this. Save the world first, adventure second.
Okay, go back to rest. I don't want to disturb you. I just wanted to talk a little and talk about their futures. Doom.
The most restful thing I could do right now is actually to give you a kiss.
And she'll pull her in.
Can
And
they go to
as
bed?
as you two have a very tender, very gay moment, we'll zoom out on the two lovebirds here. And that leaves us with what is left. So, we'll say we are in the we're on the cusp of week 3 of your training, or the last part of your training. Still a few days off, but you have been training with Lapis none of the other host that you were aware of, if host is the preferred term, the other heir, Ferrani, does not show up at all. Lapis.
Do I
Yeah.
feel her, or do I only feel like Lapis' presence?
It's hard to describe, but you do feel Ferrani. You feel her knowledge, you feel her presence. You occasionally feel glimpses of her life, her memories, just as you are during this time with Lapis, remembering things that you have done and seen when you were Lapis, before the soul was passed into the body that you now inhabit. You recall what Terra was like before the shattering. You recall that Cambier was not the only dragon of his caliber. There were more. Terra was completely different before the shattering. The continent that you know as the known world was bigger. There were more continents, in fact. And now, what you know is what is on the map. The map that you all have seen countless times, the map that chat gets to see on breaks. And before we start game, you see evidence of multiple such continents on which you assume there were civilizations. The Veil did not exist before the shattering. Not really.
Right. Am I able to get a sense of the relative size of the area that is lost versus what was there before?
So,
Like, is it the same maybe amount of area as what we know as the known world?
yes. So imagine if we were to take a look at the world map. Actually, I wonder if it's... Oh, that's character art. Is that a map? That's not the map, but... Hold on. I have this. If we look at the world map, which I will reset the view here because this got all janky because we had a different image in here. There we go. If we look at the known world map, which is on the screen for the folks at home, if you were to lay this over a sphere, the appropriate scale to what Terra is, this is one side of the sphere. Everything else is gone. It's just water. You know that the Uncharted Lands survived after the shattering, but you don't know if the Uncharted Lands were that small strip of land off to the east or if it was bigger before. Based on your current modern day Terra knowledge. What you are remembering is at least 3 other large continents similar to this size on different areas of the planet.
So as Aurora is kind of going through the experience of recalling this, she is trying to like focus on each of those places in her mind so that when she has an opportunity, she's able to give a visual representation to the rest of the group, because this is intriguing.
Yeah. And as you kind of remember these images, some of these come to you in moments of clarity when you have success with your magic as you're working with Lapis. Some of these come to you in dreams. Some of them surface while you're trying to have a conversation, and your compatriots will be doing this in front of your face when you come back from remembering. And it has become kind of known amidst the party that your body is processing everything that you have done in every lifetime you have lived.
So sometimes she glitches out. Got it.
Yeah. One day, Lapis is standing before you, and you can see the lightning traveling up from somewhere in the ceiling, these little electrical conduits that seem to be in this room aiding her. She doesn't need a storm. She is the storm. She stores the power within this place and pulls from it to train with you. Even though you've come to realize she is only semi-corporeal in this place because you are the heir. She doesn't have a real body. It looks real, but it's not. You don't have a training statue. You have Lapis. And you watch as the lightning comes down into her hand, travels up one arm, through her chest, and down to the other arm as she starts gathering this lightning in her hands. And she looks to you and she says, well, do you think you can deflect it this time?
Yes. I'm tired of getting hit by lightning.
Maybe you should use that sword of yours.
Oh. All right. And she'll go over to the side of the room where it's leaning against the Cambier statue, and pick it up. And at first it's awkward in her hand, but after a moment she figures out where it settles in to the correct position and faces Lapis.
You realize that though the hilt, or rather I should say, though the hilt of the sword is, or rather the grip is covered in cloth, you realize that the metal underneath is molded to fit your hand, and if you were holding it any other way, it wouldn't feel right, but it feels right like this. This blade was made for you. Not Lapis. Not Ferrani. You.
The moment she realizes that, I think Aurora feels a sense of peace wash over her. She has this feeling that she is on the correct path, and so she raises the sword with confidence, instead of hesitantly, even though she doesn't remember the forms, no matter how much sword fighting lessons her family tried to provide for her, but somehow her arm finds the way.
If this instrument could take a shape that you prefer, what would you want it to be? If you wanted it to be different.
I would want it to be like if brass knuckles were rings, where, like, you know, she holds her hand around it and there's an elegance about the exterior front, but it also has danger in it. But her unique grip is still involved.
Okay, yeah. This blade reforms itself, bending to your will. The metal becomes more like liquid, and you see this it's almost like a gauntlet, but it's open. You are holding the grip of the sword, but it has formed itself to form like this cage around your fist. At the realization of this, you realize that it's just responding to what you want. The sapphire forms itself using the metal to hold itself up against the back of your hand. So imagine you have like this cage around your fist, and part of it veers off into like a V shape, and sitting at the bottom of that V is the sapphire.
Gotcha.
Lapis kind of raises a brow. If you think that'll help. And without further hesitation, now that you are armed, unleashes, once again, the most intense lightning blast you can imagine. She has not let up on you.
As she does that,
Mm-hmm.
Aurora feels the sapphire touch in the back of her hand, and tries to gauge, in terms of the amount of power that Lapis is pushing into this. If you had to give it a level, would you say it was above or less than 5?
Oh, it's above a 5.
Okay. Then what she will do is cast her 6th level spell, Globe of Invulnerability.
Okay.
But as she's doing it, she is focused on the gauntlet itself. She is not so much casting it around herself, but willing the gauntlet to become part of that spell.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to do that. Do you have to roll for...
Okay, so technically it is a 10-foot range, where a barrier springs into existence. 10-foot radius around you, and any spell 5th level or lower cast outside the barrier cannot affect within it. But upcasting it has an impact. So that's kind of the idea that she's trying to go for here, is to
Got it.
using this tap into casting beyond her means.
Got it. So what does this globe-like shield look like? Does it have a visual effect for you, or are you just willing it to be?
Yeah, it does have a visual effect. I'll say it's like when she would call up a shield spell, except it's like a small little sphere that kind of starts around the sapphire and then boop explodes outwards into a shimmering like lightning network sphere that dims in intensity once it is at its full 10 feet. So it's kind of just like one of those balls with the lightning.
The lightning shoots forward, arcing through the air with a terrifying crackle as if it could tear reality, and hits the shield, and it does deflect, and she keeps pushing. She says, blocking it is not what we discussed. Redirect.
Understood. Again. And she prepares herself to channel that same thought of integration with the weapon, but is holding on to pushing that thought out until the lightning hits the barrier.
as you prepare for the next volley, she pulls the lightning back as if like magnetically redirecting it back to herself. And as you get ready, what spell is it that you're using again?
So Globe of Invulnerability is
Mhm.
the main spell.
Okay.
But my idea here would be
Mhm.
to then transform it into a lightning bolt in the opposite direction.
Got it. So she unleashes this lightning in your direction, and as you try to change essentially what is happening with the magic that you are putting forward, roll me a D100.
All right. These are really pointy in this set. The D100s, it's very satisfying.
Hell yeah.
Okay, we have got a 64. Oh, not away
Nice.
from nice.
I know, right? No, it's still nice because 64 is a good number. What does it look like as you deflect and redirect back?
So when the lightning hits the globe, it kind of like spreads out all around it so that it is covering every part of the surface area, and then it coalesces again in front of Aurora and bounces back out.
Okay, so you're pulling the lightning that she's throwing at you and pushing it back in her direction.
Yes.
Okay. What is the... Well, we're passing on damage because this is the training arc, but we'll just say that this would be the equivalent of at least a level higher than you could normally cast of Lightning Bolt. Because you are siphoning it from a source that is not the sky or yourself. And as
basically
you...
be 12d6 if we were rolling.
Yes. As you direct this back in Lapis's direction, you watch as she kind of sidesteps out of the way almost. It does go through her, but you watch as she goes incorporeal again. And the lightning passes through her form, and she looks impressed.
And that expression is exactly what Aurora was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And she grins back at her and goes, "It feels good not to be hit this time. You can't feel it, can you?"
No.
Well, you know what it feels like, so
I
you know I
certainly
did
do.
good, right?
I do. And she kind of walks towards you, and she says, "If you keep that up, we'll be able to unlock the third lock before too long. But the unfortunate part of this process is it does take time."
We don't have time. I mean, we do have some time, but not enough time.
She shakes her head. There's nothing we can do about that right now.
Okay. I'll be back tomorrow.
She'll nod. We will get you to where you need to be, and that, she points to the shape-shifting weapon. Do not let that go. For anything.
Thanks. I won't. There are very few things that I feel are made for me.
She smiles.
This and Nikita.
She will chuckle and kind of step back. Tomorrow.
Oh, okay. See you, Lapis. Thank you. Have a great night. I don't know what you do when I'm not here, but have fun.
As you depart, she kind of fades, like the ghostly, spectral version of herself that she is. But a little bit different. The camera watches as Aurora leaves the room, and fading and traveling up the stairs behind you is the other piece of you. She settles into your form because she is you. It's just easier for her to manifest here. And that is a good stopping point, I think. Unless anybody else has anything. I don't think you do. All right. So
I can be happy.
awesome. So next week we will be back, same bat time, same bat channel, with the conclusion of the training arc with all of our players, and we will reveal to you all exactly what is changing about our players, what is changing about their character sheets, before we get back into real time and the fight against the Knave Lord. So, we will see you all, like I said, same bad time, same bad channel. Thanks for the raids, thanks for the follows, thanks to everybody coming in today, the bits and the subs and the things and the stuff. Much appreciated, and we will see you guys next time. Bye.